at the Doctoral School of Art and Design, HSE University, who is exploring embroidery, textile art, and craft. PhD research focuses on female needlework techniques in contemporary art, with a particular interest in how embroidery is used as a language by contemporary Russian artists. The talk's title is Stitching Identities, Embroidery on Clothes as a Form of Self-Expression.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank you, Mila, for kindness that she invited us today, and it's such a pleasure to be here and to listen to your reports. Thank you very much. And as Mila said, this is not my main, it is not the main subject of my research, PhD research, but I'm really interested in, and I made this little research for this conference because I really wanted to be a part of this. So thank you. First of all, I should say that we all know perfectly well, especially in here, that clothing is more than just clothing. When we put something on, we make a choice about who we are today and how does your clothing tell your story, your identity today. In this regard, I became interested in what happens when a person adds something to their clothes, especially something as painstaking, as meticulous like embroidery, because embroidery requires such slow work. It's something you will do for an hour or two, sometimes weeks, and I think that it means a lot. Deciding what you will embroider can be a serious decision, and if it's meant to be worn, even more so. Here's a little structure of my speech. I will not take the pause here. So, I made an assumption that it represents a personal narrative, a significant act that serves as a profound statement about oneself or someone else. As a part of our repair and mending research lab, and I hope that you will know more about our mending lab today and join us. We've held several embroidery workshops teaching how to embroider on clothes, covering a hole or stain or creating a patch. As a rule, it arouses lively interest from guests. Everyone happily joined in and made their own statements. I noticed that the choice of image often puzzles people. Deciding what you are going to embroider is not that simple. At one of the workshops, we offered participants to embroider on t-shirts. And I noticed how carefully the girls choose the embroidery subject. They scrolled through ideas on Pinterest. They looked through their own photos. They discussed it with friends, consulted with the workshop leaders. And I should say that the subject was never random. And like artist Ruth Singer said, and I hope I pronounced it correctly, she said that embroidery is a tattoo on fabric, and I absolutely agree with this idea. As a long term, it cannot be removed without a trace. It can be unraveled like yarn. Even if we assume some kind of mistake, it's not so easy to correct it. I suppose this is perceived by the participant as a kind of long-term commitment, requiring a serious approach. And my hypothesis was that embroidery on clothing is a form of self-expression which adds a very precise, very specific message about the creator. It's always more than just a hobby. As I said before, this is my first study based on wardrobe studies methodology, and I hope I did it well. But here is some methodology that I used. I conducted interviews with embroidery school participants, one of the most popular in Russia. I had some acquaintances, some friends who had done embroidery on clothing, and participants on the embroidery workshops, and asked the following questions. First of all, I asked, why did you decide to embroider? How did you choose the theme? What does it mean for you? What the item do, or did you need to cover some defect, some perfection with embroidery? Do you wear the item? Are you proud of it? Or are you shy? Maybe you are embarrassed. And if it's necessary, if it it was necessary, I asked additional questions because not everyone could explain their intention immediately and understand why they embroidered that or that. So, for example, there was a girl who decided to embroider a bird. It was a wallet, and she just said, "I decided to do this embroidery. It's just a bird." And when I asked additional questions, they understand that they heard that it was a symbol of change, and only after this information she decided to do this embroidery and accept it is a conscious decision for herself. After analyzing the interviews, of which I had about 20, I identified several requiring and repetitive themes and categories and drew some conclusions. I would like to tell you about the most interesting cases and show it. Firstly, I should say that all the people who responded to my inquiry were very happy to talk about the embroidery. They were indeed proud of it, even if the work wasn't very expensive and exquisite, but we want to tell you and want to show it to you. And I was very happy. Many talked about choosing a line from favorite song, a portrait of a beloved artist, or a photo of the beloved pet. But there were a few things that particularly struck me. And as I said before, the subject was never random. The photo shows an old sneakers for which a girl had made embroidery. They were old sneakers that she had stained with paint that she couldn't remove. And she decided to cover it with embroidery, so this also can be considered as mending. Here's how she talked about the embroidery. Now I quote. "I wanted to make cheerful sneakers, to look at and smile. Initially, the idea was to just embroider hearts, stars, kittens. Only later did the idea to make inscriptions come, so that they were about the simplest and most important things, which we should not forget, because we can see here the words in Russian: light, joy, energy. But it seems to be everywhere: love, joy, light, energy. But it is also easy to forget about it. But he could look down, he remembered. And at the very end, when all the patches were done, but something was missing, I came up with the idea to add the pronoun I. And that was it. I am light, I am energy, I am love, I am joy. Even now, as I write, I'm getting goosebumps. It turned out to be not just cheerful sneakers, but sneakers of self-identification. The second story is also very interesting about how context influenced embroidery. A girl decided to do embroidery for her denim jacket. She was embroidered on fabric first and wanted to transfer it to the jacket later. But during the process, the following happened. Initially, she was inspired by medieval culture and the phrase "art's longer, vida brevis," life is short, but art is forever. The composition of the patch was created with a subtle reference to hippie vibes. However, as she progressed through the work, she came to a profound understanding. The piece held a deeper meaning for her than she had originally intended. It was deep emotion connected to a specific period in her life, the passing of her mother. Overwhelmed by these feelings, she found herself unable to embroider the phrase "vida brevis." After the realization, she made the decision not to turn it into a patch, because she cannot wear it on herself. And I should say that there are many cases like this, when embroidery becomes something more than just decoration. Embroidery often becomes a way to show love and care. Here on the slide we see tender words embroidered for loved ones. At first we can see the line from the favorite band. We can look into each other and we have a goosebumps. And the second one, "You are the light of my soul." And the time invested in meticulous work, which becomes apparent to the recipients, becomes an important addition to a touching gift. Embroideries that were made as a gift by all participants were intended for the closest, dear people, best friend, loved ones. Or the embroidery could be done for oneself, but as a message for important people. For example, in this photo, we can see the embroidery with drawings by students, but made by the teacher. And this woman told me, the children's eyes, when they see their own drawings on me, that's an incredible joy. And some participants said they don't find time to embroider by themselves, but they made very large embroidery for their children. And here are two examples. The first one, this girl made embroidery for her son, and this is a portrait of her son's favorite soccer player. And this boy loves it so much and wears it almost every day. And the second example, it's also a big embroidery made for her son, and this is his favorite character from the book. But it's noteworthy that one boy is proud of his embroidery and loves it. And this boy is very shy, and he told that it's too different and he can't wear it. But an act of love, as we understand, can also be for oneself, of course, and it's also a common subject. And if the left is the inscription saying, be the one who makes you happy, then option number 2 is a kind of hidden message, and for both oneself and others. This is a big sign embroidered on her lucky jeans, and she wears it for important exams. And this is a big sign, and this sign should protect her from the evil eye. And I don't know how common the subject is, but in Russian we have a belief that if you have a fixed sign in your pocket, you are protected. so nothing can happen with you. So this hidden type of message, of course, can be related with craftivism, because embroidery has long been a known form of craftivism through which people express their opinion regarding social or political problems, and naturally the embroideries of some interviewed were also relevant. However, not everyone is ready to share the embroideries of the scene in social media or share the subject in special groups, fearing further feedback that might follow. Because we should remember that there is a place when people can express their ideas freely. And I also wanted to show you one photo that is not so relevant, but it's not so relevant for my research, but I found it and I understand that I should show it to you. And here it is. And this deep belief in the message that embroidery take us back on one hand to the time when embroidery was made of clothing with a deep knowledge of symbolism, and on the other hand to these dark times when somebody wants to somehow protect loved ones, but has very little opportunity to do this. And as I said, when I was preparing for the report, I came across a very interesting item and I decided to share it. So this is an item from Belarus from the times of the Second World War, and it is kept in the museum. This bag wasn't embroidered this year, as I said, but it reflects the topic, so here it is. When I saw it, first I should translate it. Okay. This is bag for tobacco of a man, Stepan Markovich. He went through the entire war and survived. And this watch was his talisman, which he carefully preserved. It's clear that the case was storing tobacco is stitched and heavily worn over time. In some places, the fabric is wholly, you can see mending, there is a patch, but the decoration of the watch is intact. On the front side, we can read, "Let my love protect you from the bullet." There, it's a name. It's carefully embroidered with articulate threads Who's caring and made such a gift is unknown, but it's noticeable how the girl puts effort in it, and maybe she's hurried because she has a mistake in the letter I. It turned out to be a mirror reflection. My research reveals that embroidery is more than just a decorative art form. It's also a mode of self-expression, a messaging tool, and a medium for conveying feelings and ideas. The most striking examples confirm that embroidery can serve multiple purposes. It can act as a talisman, a love message, a method of self-identification, or even a means of a silent protest. And I think that it's very important that it helps us to better understand how individuals use embroidery to express their personality, experiences, and beliefs. It serves as a reminder that hobby is not just about beauty, but also carries a profound emotional charge, sometimes associated with pain and suffering, at other times with love and joy. Embroidery can do more than just make something look nice. It can also carry strong feelings or memories, pass on messages, or act like a good luck charm. It can be a strong tool for showing ideas about social and political issues in a unique and eye-catching way.